Hello everyone and welcome back to the X-Ring. I hope you guys are doing well today. I hope you guys had a great Mother's Day. That's actually the day that I'm filming this on. But today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the Bwc9. Now before we get into it, you guys know that I really like the Swiss products. I like B&T. They make some great innovative submachine guns and rifles and weapons, and I've had quite a few of them on the channel. Big shout out to not only B&T but also companies like Peace of Mind and AX Arms. Those are authorized dealers for B&T. But guys, I've always had this affinity towards kooky things, right? Things that are a little bit different. And no, I'm not going to be comparing it to a life card like this, but when I saw that it was coming out, you know, I had to have one just because it was different. It was that kooky little thing. And so, you know, before we get into the Bwc9, this is a pistol, basically, that you'll have to SBR using your 320 platform, but it is a very neat product. The engineering behind it is actually pretty cool, and you know, it's not going to be for most people. I can tell you, it's very cost prohibitive. I'll tell you my experiences with it. It did have to go back to B&T upon first getting it. Did have some issues, but I will cover that in detail, so stick around. All right, so by now most of you know that I am a manufacturer with an SOT, and so everything from the TP9 or MP9, once I converted it into a machine gun, this was a really awesome weapon, still one of my most favorite 9mm subguns, as well as the APC9K. I love this setup. I think it's great. It's a tiny little platform. It was also what was adopted by the US Army for basically CQB work. And then I reviewed the SPC-10. This was a great firearm, and you know, just some of the innovation, yeah, dang it, I can't take it off, but some of the innovation that B&T puts into their products, you know, this is one of those where you can just press it onto a 3-lug and it locks right on without any type of twisting or screwing or anything like that. So when I was in Switzerland and visiting B&T and visiting Carl, I did have a chance to shoot the Bwc9 in a prototype setting. And guys, remember, this was just something that they developed because they could. That's where the name comes from, is because we can. But we asked for it. You know, they were saying that they could come out to the market with something like this for about the $1,500 price point. It is all billet aluminum. There's no plastic or chintzy parts on this. Guys, the detail and the fit and finish is just unbelievable. And so we as consumers asked for them to do that. And sure enough, they did come out with it. They offer it in the black as well as a flat dark earth model now. And it's just really unique. Looking on the right side here, you have an ejection port. You also have the release mechanism, which will turn this into a carbine. You have the logo here, and if we go to the other side, you're actually going to see there's really nothing over here except for the charging handle. Okay, so the charging handle comes factory from the left side. Now, when these actually hit the US market, they were around $2,300 or so, including the Acro P2. You didn't have a choice on that. You had to do the Acro P2, and so it came as a kit just like this. So if you already had an existing SIG P320, it wasn't that big of a deal. You just took your barrel, your slide, you dropped it in with the trigger group, and you were good to go. One of the reasons that this was picked up is this will eventually be a machine gun. It is not a machine gun yet. However, it's probably not going to be select fire. It's going to be machine gun only. But it's really cool. You just hit this button here and she is ready to go into a carbine just like that. Now, you won't be able to just rack it or fire it in this position. The way it was designed by Carl and those guys is that it has an intermediate lock position here so that it can be stored. And I will show you some close-ups of that, but just for safety reasons, they didn't want to do this to where a loaded magazine could actually be stored in here and fold. It just stops. It will not allow you to do that. And this does have rounds in it, but that's okay. So once it's in this position and you deploy it, then you rack it, and once you rack it, you are ready to go. So basically, this is not much different than taking something like a Glock or a Glock 18 and putting it in one of those little chassis stocks. Pick your favorite brand. But what I've noticed with this is just the quality and everything. It was just one of those things I had to have in the collection, and it is an awesome platform. It really is. But it's very impractical. For most people, I think a regular handgun, you can, use 21 round mags for this. But for most people, a compact handgun, whether it's a Glock or whatever your favorite pistol is going to be much smaller than this, but it won't be as accurate. Okay, you can get very precise rounds on targets, very accurate platform, because you do have that point of contact with your shoulder. It is very comfortable to shoot. I have no issues with accuracy at 100 yards with this. And what I'll do today is actually compare it to my MPA, my DS9, my competition pistol, and we'll see how much faster this is than, let's say, the DS9 over 5 shots at 100 yards. So it is going to increase your capability for distance, but there's that deployment time. That thing just kind of gets in the way. I mean, even if you're really fast, let's say you're holding it in the left hand and we drop it, we hit the mag, and then we rack, that's actually going to be a whole lot slower than being able to just draw a pistol from concealed and be able to get rounds on target. Now let's talk about the bad. There is nothing that I don't like about it as far as the functionality of it. However, getting it to function was another story. So when these were first released, they were delayed because of some modifications they needed to make when it was released to the US. So initially the launch was a little bit delayed by a few weeks once they had already released them. Once I got it in, I dropped a SIG 320, I think it was just a regular Legion in here. And when I did that, it wouldn't function. Basically, the extracted cartridge would get stuck here, and so you would have a fail to extract, fail to feed happening at the same time. Now you could clear it, but it was a one-shot wonder. I did start a ticket with B&T as an individual, reached out to them, shipped it to them along with the proper paperwork, and I had it back in less than a week. It was about a week's time turnaround, and this has been unbelievable since then. So there were little teething issues in the beginning. Second thought, I kind of wish it was a flat dark earth model, but it is what it is. One of the other things that kind of gets me is, you have this charging handle here, and I'm sure that they designed it this way to stay in the out position, but I kind of wish that once you racked it, that would always go forwards. It doesn't always do that. If you ride it, of course it's not going to do it, but if you let it go, it should go forwards. But I almost wish this had more of a release on it to go into that forward position, kind of like what they did with the APC9s. Okay, so the way that retracts on its own, I kind of wish that did that for that charging handle. So little small quirks. There's really nothing else about it that I don't like. I'm going to show you guys some disassemblies on this, and the only thing you guys have to do is take this one takedown pin. It's very similar to an AR takedown pin, and so just by pressing that takedown pin in just a little bit, we can remove that. It is captive, and then this is just going to slide up and pivot off, just like that. So you can see what's underneath there. Now this will work on a multitude of different frames. They have inserts within the charging mechanism so that if you have a shorter slide or a shorter barrel assembly, it will work. Another thing I do notice is it will put a little bit of scarring on the top of the slide itself. It's not much, but it's where this metal block actually contacts the slide so that when you're charging on it, this actually charges off the front side, but it also gets an index off of the rear side as well. So once you put this thing down, it's just like that, and she is ready to go. So let's go ahead and get it on the range. Let's see how it does compared to, let's say, a 9mm pistol, see how much faster it is. And we won't include the holstering part or taking out a battery. We'll just shoot it from the low ready position for both platforms just to see how it does. And then we'll also compare that at 100. Now the BWC does come with this quick little deployment bag because it is rectangular in shape. Has a little place for your patch there. Of course, I don't think I'd put a patch there because you don't want to advertise, right? You have a carry handle here up on the top. On the back side, you have a zipper pocket to be able to store whatever it is, whether it's a magazine or whatnot, and then you have 2 zippered compartments. This is the one that I'd probably recommend for the actual BWC first. And then on the front side is an accessory pocket, which has some MOLLE. It also has another zipper pocket, and it also comes with a little sling strap. So it's, you know, they did try to think this out. It doesn't feel like a heavy quality. It's good enough for what it is, but they also incorporated this little tab here to kind of hold it, so that if you did have it as a sling bag, you could do this and access it very quickly. Still not going to be as fast as a draw no matter what you say, but at least that option's there, and they gave you a little bag to carry it with. All right, so I confirmed that the dot and everything else is on for both platforms. We're just going to use a shot timer. We'll do 2 runs of 6. We'll just see what the average is. Hopefully I can stay somewhere within that 4-second range or so. So here we go. Make sure my dot's bright enough. It's bright enough. And here we go. Low ready. Okay, so that was 3.39. Not bad for being out of practice, but I'll take that. 3.39. And I'll see if I can pick it up a little bit. Now remember, we are at 15 yards. All right. Here we go. Okay, so that is 3.12. 3.12. I think that SBR will be faster, but I'm not sure. Let's go check it out and try it. All right, same drill from 15 yards. Remember, we do have to seat the mag first. Then we're going to charge it, release it, and we should be good to go. There is no safety on it because it's a standard 320 mechanism. So once you charge it, you're ready, you pull the trigger, it's gonna go. So this should be a little bit faster, but like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time with it. Here we go. All right, 2.85, so a little bit faster even at 15 yards because we have more controllability over the platform. Let's see if we can get 2.5 maybe. We'll try it and see. All right, so here we go. Okay, got a malfunction. So there it is. And maybe I didn't have it quite in the shoulder, but this is what I ran into before when it went to B&T the first time. So let me go ahead and clear that. I've got 7 rounds. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, that does get me a little upset because this is not a cheap platform. It is well oiled. Let's try it again. First and foremost, it's gotta work, right? That's the most important thing. Here we go. Okay, so even that, if I wouldn't have missed, would have been a 273. So I think the pistol, you know, I did have a makeup shot, but look what we've got. We've got another malfunction. So yeah, this is gonna go back to B&T again, and it just came back not even 3 days ago. And so, well, I get it. It was a brand new X5 that went into this, and it's already been back to B&T, and I am shooting just PMC 115 grain. It should run that. Almost all your other rifles run that, or your other pistols. And we are locked back. But not happy with that so far. So what we're gonna do now is I'm standing on the 50-yard line. I've got a 12-inch circle down there. I've got the DS9. I'm not gonna just spray and pray and hope that I hit it. I wanna do 3 accurate shots, make sure I get these shots at 50 yards. We'll do 3 shots, see how long it takes. And I think that's a fair competition, and we will check it at 100 as well. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. So that's 50 yards in 3.13 seconds, 3.13. Let me kind of go for broke here and see if we can get under that 3-second mark. I've got 3 rounds exactly. So let's try it again. Let me switch to this other side so I'm not having to switch hands when I hit that starter on the timer. Okay, here we go, low ready. All right, so 1 out of 3, and I was trying to go for broke. That would have been a 2.28. I could probably do it, but like I said, I'm a little rusty. Let's try it on the Bwc9. So next up at 50 is the Bwc9. Guys, it should be a no-brainer. With this stock, we should be able to get this faster. It should be more precise, more accurate, and we'll see what we can do based on that DS9, which was right at 3 seconds. So make sure my dot's good. It is. Low ready, and here we go. All right, so even with a makeup shot, we were at 260. All right, so let's try it again. We'll slow it down just a little bit, just to see what we get. Low ready. Okay, so I nicked it off that top one. That was still 252. So it is going to be faster, and it's supposed to be faster. As far as shooting it, it is not uncomfortable to shoot. Where my face ends up is right here on this little piece, this little mechanism, which, like I said, I lifted it, and that's why it came undone. But I do notice that, but it's nothing. There's no recoil to this whatsoever. All right, so now we're on the 100-yard platform. You guys might be able to see the little steel over there. I'm not going to put a camera down range. You guys will just have to listen for the report. We'll do the DS9. We'll give ourselves 5 shots for 3 impacts, whatever the results are, what they are. Here we go. Hopefully I can hit it. All right, so was able to do it, took all 5 shots, 821. All right, next up is the BWC. I don't know if it's gonna be any faster. It should be, just because of that extra point of contact. I think it's decently on, we'll see, and here we go. All right, so that's 3 shots with 1 miss and 534. So yeah, that's actually going to be faster. Remember, we are comparing it to a 2011 comp style gun. So what are my thoughts on the Bwc9? Well, because we can doesn't mean you should. I've never had any problems with any type of B&T products, ever. They've always functioned flawlessly, no malfunctions, no misfeeds, no failure to extract, failure to eject, anything like that. You know, I did give them an opportunity to fix this, and it's going to have to go back. And so I'm a little disappointed in that. And in manufacturing, I do understand that things happen, but if something goes to QC, it needs to be right the next time it goes back. Because now we're talking about shipping again, we're talking about time away, and we're not talking about a $1,000 or $2,000 piece. By the time you're into it, you're into this for $3,000, and it is what it is. So I have not contacted B&T on this. I did the first time, gave them an opportunity to make it right, but it wouldn't be fair for me as a content reviewer. As good of a relationship as I have with B&T, it wouldn't be fair if I didn't report the true results. Now, I will send this back to B&T, and we'll get it back, and we'll try it again just to see. So be looking for that video to see if they made it right. At this point, I almost wish they just replaced it, because I am satisfied with it. I got what I wanted, but at the same time, it's not functioning the way that it should. So that ends that. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll come back at you at NRA convention. I will be there on Thursday until Sunday, so come by and say hello, and thank you to each and every one of you that watches the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll try to bring you a bunch more content coming up in the future. You guys take care. Have a great day.